Everybody, I am here in Virginia still. My flight got delayed back to LA, so I am going to hit up the Virginia Air and Space Museum here on the way to the airport. So follow along and we'll do a quick walkthrough. The Apollo 12 capsule. We'll walk over there in a little bit. Looks like a Harrier. This is the real reason I came. Wanted to see the Apollo 12 capsule. One of my bucket list things is to see all the capsules from the Apollo era eventually. Highlighting the re-entry marks on it. So if I remember my NASA history correctly, This is the mission that they were supposed to take the first color video and photographs on the moon, and I don't know if it was Alan Bean or one of the other astronauts, I guess, pointed the lens at the sun and it kind of messed it up. I believe this is the same flight. So impressive seeing these up close. I mean, I wasn't born in the Apollo era. I was born right after. Well, 5, 6 years after. I was born into the space shuttle era, and but the Apollo missions were always something that I was fascinated with. Just hearing the stories, following the timelines, and they have this gentleman by the name of Ben Feist who took all the audio from all the Apollo missions, and so you can listen to them on your computer in different various audio loops from the different controllers, and you can actually follow the whole mission from start to finish on these audio loops that have been digitized now because of Ben Feist. So it's been remarkable that he, one, can do it, and two, that he digitized them for us so that you can see. I'm sure we'll get a better look of the aircraft once we go upstairs. But he digitized those audio loops for Apollo 11, Apollo 13, and I believe a couple others so far. So he says he's working on 15 now, I believe. But I particularly use it. I'll turn it on for like background noise, so to speak, while I'm working, and have the audio loops playing there. This looks like a Gemini test article that they probably used here at Langley to probably do some drop testing or water testing. A little exhibit about Project Mercury. Looks like they have a couple flight simulators for kids. Talking about what we're going to be doing next from SLS, SpaceX, the moon missions. Oh, and here we have a Mercury capsule. We're on the back side here, so and since we were so close to NASA Langley, NASA Langley was instrumental in the start of the space program. And a fun fact that a lot of people don't know is NASA, which was previously NACA, NACA, was here in at Langley. I drove by the building last night, so I'll include a picture of what the facade of the building, and the front of the building still has the NACA with the wings and flight research listed on it. Nice little cutaway of the bottom of the spacecraft. A nice little hands-on area here for the kids. I'm not going to go all the way through that. It looks like it's a nice little area for the kids. All right, let's head upstairs and then we'll see, look at some more of these planes. Get another look at the Apollo 12 capsule here. So I can probably get them in. So there you go. All three programs in one shot. You have the Mercury, you have a Gemini representation, and you have the Apollo 12 capsule. I believe this is an F4. Don't quote me on it, but I believe it is. This is a Harrier. And you could probably go online and look up NASA 521 and Harrier. It'll probably tell you the whole story behind this particular aircraft. That's the beautiful thing about the internet these days, is you can find out a lot about the aircraft just based on the tail numbers that you would have, that you didn't have access to back in the day when everything was not digitized yet. All right, we're the backside of a Huey here for the U.S. Army. Huey aircraft was very popular during Vietnam. They're still being used today, however, they're being phased out, I believe. It is an old airframe. Here is a model of the USS Yorktown. Again, over the last couple of days, there's been some beautiful models that we've seen between here and the Wisconsin. There's beautiful models. And here is a modern day equivalent of an aircraft carrier. We've got F-18s. Looks like they got some intruders on here. You got good old AirTran. For those that don't know, AirTran used to be a very low price airline that used to fly like $100 seats. I used to be able to get $100 seats from Baltimore to Florida pretty regularly. And then you could pay like $99 extra for an upgrade and you can get first class for like $200 total. So it was real nice. AirTran, I think, was bought out by Southwest, and they kind of absorbed them. This is a model of the Mir space station. And then this would be Skylab. So you probably looks a little more familiar from this angle right here. So Skylab, the Apollo spacecraft. And then we have the current International Space Station. This is the Long Duration Exposure Facility. At least a model of one. It's a 1/10 scale model. All right. It's nice how this gallery kind of opens up out to the city here. There's a little Langley Cessna right there, or something to that nature. Looks like an F-16. And this is the Orion Capsule. This is kind of what the new capsule is going to look like. It's a little bit bigger, not a whole lot bigger though. Inside, obviously this is not the real deal, this is like a test article. It's impressive though. Take a look at the configuration. So these green things represent the seats in it, and the silver thing right here represents the control console. So yeah, so it looks like it's pretty spacious in there at the moment. However, you start adding astronauts, 3-4 astronauts in there, and then you figure they're going to be going to the moon. So you're talking 3-4 days in this little configuration as well. You get pretty tight in there. Like I said, the NASA F-18 Hornet. It's got a weird thing on the back. I'm not quite sure what that is, but maybe they'll tell us as we go around. So I was wrong. That is not a Cessna. It is a Grumman American Yankee AA-1. And right here we got a Bell P39Q, which is this one right here. Another picture of the Huey, another side of all the jets. Here's that weird package on the back of this F-18 here. Not quite sure what that's about. Oh, looking down view of the Apollo spacecraft. This is a Apollo test lander. You've probably seen video of this. Neil Armstrong crashed one very similar to this, preparing for the moon. Sorry, I probably should get a couple wide angles here of all this on up at this vantage point. So I've always been a lifelong lover of these kind of museums just because it shows the history of not only aircraft, but it shows the history of the nation and its willingness to adapt and overcome obstacles through innovation. All right, let us go in here and take a look at some stuff. We have representations of the different Mars landers. So this looks like the Viking Mars lander. So this would be prior to when I was born, 1976 time frame, maybe 77. So this would be what they commonly do at NASA is they build several versions of the vehicle, of the same vehicle. So for example, the one on Mars currently, the rover on Mars has a sister or a brother at typically Pasadena that they can use to test, troubleshoot, so forth and so on. This is one of the Mars rovers. So this would be the sister or brother of Spirit and Opportunity that really recently, their mission just ended after they had done well over the required mission requirements, lasted years. I don't know if you can see that. There's a memoriam of STS-107 on there. Picture of the mast cam. It's a nice little interactive area for the kids, full of information, NASA, space-related content. So here, without knowing the specifics, here is what looks like it's a expandable habitat that we would use on the moon. They're kind of showing you how it looks when it's expanded. But that's kind of the idea of, the stuff we're going to do on the moon is we're going to look at, keep the footprint, the mass small going up, because it takes a lot of thrust to get stuff like that into space. And then we can unpackage it once we get on the moon. Yeah. Yeah, see, and it's completely, if you push on it, it's completely just positive pressure pushing out, where this is the harder piece. It's like an airlock system. It's kind of cool. Looks like we got a moon rock here. So this moon rock, I'm reading the wall here. This moon rock was collected at the Sea of Serenity by Apollo 17 astronauts in 1972. It's part of the Apollo 17 Goodwill rock. Go back to these rovers real quick, and I'll do a wide angle. All right. Well, looks like they got Camp NASA. Let's walk around here and we can look at some of these other vehicles. Again, I'm in downtown Hampton, Virginia, at the Virginia Air and Space Center. I'm killing time. My flight has got delayed, so I am just killing time, and I figured I can come and show you guys a little bit around here. Decide if you guys want to make a trip out of this for yourself. Rutan. This is an F-84 Thunder Streak, sorry. On loan from the U.S. Air Force. So I don't know, you may know this, you may not. A lot of the plane exhibits you'll see around the country are typically out on loan from the United States Air Force Museum. Um, so you'll see that quite a bit. Here is the top of that Army missile and a front view of the Huey here. So this is actually, it's hard to see here. Let me go to wide angle. So this is a cutaway of the circumference of the modules of the International Space Station. So that kind of gives you an idea of their space. So if you cockeye about 45 degrees to your right, there's the workstations up here. Up there is the workstations. This would technically be the floor. Obviously, there's no floor in space, but it would be technically the floor where they're working on. All right, let's go up to the observation deck. Nice view of the cockpit. There's the mount for the sling load for the Huey helicopter. We have this nice little observation area up here. So we'll go up here and see what that looks like. We're heading back in. It's kind of humid out today, so see what we got going on here. Oh, nice little panorama of the harbor here. The construction going on. You can actually feel the rumble of the IMAX. movies that's going on downstairs. It's actually the IMAX theaters right here, so you can actually feel the rumble. Whew, it's humid out. All right. All right, now you get a larger view straight down of the different components. Apollo 12, the F4 Phantom. One of my personal favorites I told you guys about in the other video is the F-16. This one's called the YF F-16. Typically, when they put number or letters before the F, that means they're experimental aircraft. So obviously, this one was used by General Dynamics for testing purposes of some sort. So, let's see. For those of you that are old enough to remember well, it's relatively cheesy now, but the movie Iron Eagle, that's kind of where I fell in love with the F-16, because I thought it was such a unique aircraft. Turns on a dime. And who wouldn't want Louis Gossett Jr. as your instructor to fly a F-16, right? Bottom of this aircraft. All right, that is pretty much this whole museum, I think. Make sure I didn't miss any areas. So that is the F-104. F-104. So planes like this, with these smaller wings, they go fast, they turn on a dime, but when they are flying at slow speeds, the maneuverability is quite labor intensive. Again, the F-104 was called a starfighter. I have a picture somewhere in the Beaulieu family archives, that picture of me standing in front of one long time ago. This is the F-106 Corsair. So this particular aircraft is on loan from the Langley Research Center. So for all you that aren't quite sure about looking up aircraft, so if you look right in the middle of the screen there, there's a Air Force serial number. It says 511786. So you can actually Google that and look that up, and it'll tell you all about the aircraft. 51 means it was built in 1951, and it was probably this, the 1700th one that year, or the one coming off the assembly line. So you can actually Google that kind of stuff and look at it. All right, we're making our way all the way down. There is a gift shop here, so I will walk through that at the last moment before we head out. Oh, pushed it right here. Let's just keep on heading down. F-18 is a beautiful aircraft. Alright. Yeah, it looks like we'll finally figure out what that weird package is on the back of this aircraft, because it kind of tells us about it here. Used for high angle of attack. So it was from the Dryden Research Center. So that's all the way in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, up in California here. High angle of attack research vehicle. All right. Oh, speaking of the NASA building, I told you I was going to show you a picture. So that's what the logo looked like before it became NASA. And this is the document that establishes NACA from Langley. It started out, NACA stands for the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which turned into the National Aeronautics and Space Administration later on. Some beautiful artifacts. A lot of history in aviation. Slide rule. You don't see those too much anymore, but they used them pretty much to calculate everything to go to the moon on that. They didn't have a whole lot of computers back then. Different test configurations of the shuttle. Oh, if we look right here, there's a nice little plaque here I didn't catch the first time. Talks about Flight Research Center, from 26 to 20, or from 26 to 68, and then after that, the NASA came about. Piece of the original Wright brothers flyer. There we go. Ford fuselage. It looks like a B-17. I didn't read anything yet to tell us what it is, but oh, this is a B-24. So this is the fuselage of the B-24 Liberator. Looks like they're doing some work in there, which is kind of cool. All right. And that looks like it just about does it for the center here. Obviously, I didn't read everything. Don't really have time for all that. They do have a cafe, so you can get some foodage at the cafe. Not sure what they sell. And the gift center is not open yet, so you'll be able to get in there to see anything. See a couple of the items there. It's Apollo 50 stuff, still from last year. Quite a few things in there for kids, mugs, books, models. I have some nice models there I wouldn't mind having on my wall. Some t-shirts. I have a lot of ties. I don't wear ties quite often anymore, but it'd be nice to get a space kind of related tie there. NASA notebooks, different NASA socks, masks, shirts. All right.